Welcome to Next on the Tee with Chris Mascaro, the show where you get the inside access to the best minds in the game. Each week, Chris has the privilege of chatting with top instructors, legendary players, course architects, and industry insiders. If you're looking to improve your game, gain a new perspective, or just hear some incredible golf stories, you are indeed in the right place.
You see, Chris, let me tell you something. I haven't spoken to a press man in my life that is knowledgeable, seriously, as you are. Never.
You do such a great job. It kind of makes me feel good all of a sudden.
You do so much for the game. You're so kind to all of us that are out there in the game. You know, we need more people like you in the game of golf.
Thank you for pressing play. Now, grab your clubs, step up to the tee, and let's get started. This is Next on the Tee.
Hello, folks, and welcome into a very special edition of Next on the Tee. I'm your host, Chris Mascaro, and I am back home in the wonderful city of Pittsburgh. And every time I come back, I am absolutely captivated by everything that is the city of Pittsburgh. From the moment I emerge from the Fort Pitt Tunnel and the city explodes right before my eyes, to driving around town and walking the Strip District, having lunch at Permanente Brothers, love that place, going to all the sports apparel shops, and a special shout out to my friends over at Yinzer's in the Berg. I love their stuff, as well as my friends over at Steel City Apparel. Shout out as well to the great folks at the Nook in Piccolo Fornio on 40th Street. We loved the food and atmosphere of both of those restaurants, as well as Hofstoff's out in Oakmont. If you're not familiar with any of those places, please go check them out. You will not be disappointed. I had the privilege of being invited to the tap room of the Pittsburgh Brewing Company to record interviews during their U.S. Open watch party on Thursday and again on Friday. Huge thank you to their marketing director, Rachel Gill, for inviting me. Had the privilege of spending some time with Rachel. And here in part one of this week's show, you're going to hear that conversation. We talk about the evolution of the brand, not just your grandfather's Iron City anymore, folks. They are true to the iconic brands, though, of both Iron City and Icy Lights, while forging great new craft beers like Poolside and Blockhouse Blueberry Wheat. Their wonderful new facility, which was built on the site of the old Pittsburgh Glass Works plant. You're going to hear about that story, how that all evolved. The concert venue that they've got created there on the property is fantastic as well, and they're set to host country music legends Alabama on Saturday of U.S. Open week, plus Joan Jett a little bit later on this summer. Wish I was going to be here for that one. Check out their full concert schedule online at pittsburghbrewing.com. But getting back to Rachel, she's fantastic. I think you're going to enjoy learning more about one of the oldest breweries and beers in the country. Then I got the wonderful surprise by a visit from one of the ladies that was attending the watch party, who is the aunt of one of the fantastic bartenders there. Should have got her name, wish I had. She approached me and said, "You need to interview my aunt. She's a golfer who has played Oakmont. She just got back from a trip to Scotland where she played St. Andrews. And boy, was I glad that she recommended her aunt to me. The lady's name is Rosalie Wisotzski. She was such a delight. I was captivated by her and her stories and perspective. You're going to get to hear what it's like to be out at St. Andrews, what it's like to play at Oakmont, and the right mindset you need to have if you ever get an opportunity to go out there and play that golf course. So you're going to really enjoy my time with Rosalie. Then in part two guys that mean a lot to me in this show join me, both Eric Johnson and Steve Shingeldecker. As you guys know, Eric's been a great friend for a really long time, going all the way back to season number 1, so 12 years now. He is the top 100 instructor and former director of instruction at Oakmont. Steve Shingeldecker is a great guy, become a wonderful friend over the last few years. They were former high school teammates, oh, by the way. Steve is now the head men's golf coach at Robert Morris University, and they were so much fun. It was one of those interviews that you hated it when it had to end. Those guys are a great mix of making you laugh, plus telling you like it is. They share their insights on playing Oakmont and the trouble that lies everywhere, and I promise you, I was there and saw it. The trouble is everywhere, and I'm sure you've seen it on TV over the first few rounds, so it just lurks everywhere on that golf course. We also discussed the impact that the lawsuit against the NCAA is having on college sports, coupled with the NIL deals, which have made every college athlete pretty much a free agent, and mid-major schools the minor leagues for the major conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten. So, folks, a lot of great stuff in store for you this week here on Next on the Tee. And as always, I thank you so much for tuning in and taking the journey with me. Okay, but before we get into this week's show, I want to start off by giving a shout out to our good friends over at the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. TribLive.com is the leading news website for Western Pennsylvania with news around the clock. Pittsburgh pro sports coverage, a high school sports network, a podcast network, which you can find Next on the Tee on. So go out and bookmark TribLive.com or download the Trib Live app for free and stay up to date with all the news in Western Pennsylvania and this show. I also want to talk about our friends over at the Pittsburgh Brewing Company and Iron City Beer, a brand that I have loved my whole life and started drinking when I was 21 years old, of course. Whether you're a hacker or a scratcher, the secret to a successful day on the links is knowing when it's time to grab an iron, even if that means keeping it in the bag till the 19th hole. If it's been a while since you've reached for Pittsburgh staple beer, it's time to revisit Iron City. Thanks to their incredible new facility in Creighton, the best-tasting Iron City beer ever made is now available at a course near you. Iron City pairs well with any lie and sky and serves as a friendly reminder that there's always next round. Iron City beer, best enjoyed while enjoying life. And folks, this year, get ready to experience the game like you've never experienced it before at the Keep. It's the brand new Bill Bergen and Reese Jones co-designed course up at Macklemore. Nestled high atop Lookout Mountain, the Keep offers breathtaking vistas that are even more spectacular in person than they are in the pictures and the videos. With its challenging layout and awe-inspiring views, every round there is an unforgettable adventure. Whether you're taking on the signature holes or just soaking in the scenery, the Keep is where your best golf meets nature's finest backdrop. So grab your clubs and join us up at Macklemore this year. The Keep is open for preview play and it's waiting for you. But you gotta hurry now because spots and availability are filling up fast. So don't wait. Check out both courses, the Highlands and the Keep, for yourself online at themacklemore.com. And then do yourself and your buddies, or yourself and your family a solid by getting your spot reserved now. And experience distance and forgiveness all at once with the new QI35 driver from TaylorMade. QI35 is designed to give golfers more distance from more of the face while maintaining maximized forgiveness through high MOI designs. Whether you're looking for low spin and maximum workability or easy launch and plenty of adjustability, it's available in low spin, core, and max models. QI35 also has a full assortment of fairway woods and rescues to deliver distance and forgiveness throughout the top end of your bag. Check them all out online at TaylorMadeGolf.com. All right, now joining me from the Pittsburgh Brewing Company is Rachel Gill. Rachel is the marketing director here at Pittsburgh Brewing. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so first of all, this place is fantastic. I mean, when I had a picture in my mind, of course I went online to take a look at it, but this is my first time here, and you got a 100-foot screen, you've got all these wonderful tables, you've got bar service. I mean, this place way exceeded my expectations. Talk about what you have here.
Yeah, we have a really large tap room. We can seat probably like 400 people in here comfortably. Standing room can be about 1,000 people. It's like 16,000 square feet just up here alone. So a lot of space for any kind of events and watch parties. Yeah. So we have a massive TV, probably one of the largest indoor screens in the area, if not the largest. So perfect place to watch sports, especially golf.
Yeah, no doubt. So for people who aren't familiar enough with the recent history of the Pittsburgh Brewing Company, you guys have done a fantastic job with an iconic brand here in the city of Pittsburgh. Wasn't always great, but it sure is looking like it's great now. Talk about that. Talk about the resurrection of this brand.
Yeah. The resurrection all started in 2018 with new ownership, Cliff Forrest. He's a local man, so we have him to thank for this beautiful facility. So the facility we're in now is the original PPG glass factory from 1883. And he purchased this plant as well as Pittsburgh Brewing Company, and it just so happens that we ended up placing the brewery in this facility. Started brewing here in August of 22 and kind of started dipping our toe in the water with some events and watch parties and stuff last year, and this is our first full year of doing events, and we're continuing our innovation with beer, so it's great.
Yeah, so this isn't your father's or your grandfather's Iron City beer anymore. You guys have really done a great job of expanding what you offer. Talk about what else you guys have besides Icy and Icy Light.
Yeah, it definitely spans generations for sure when it comes to Iron City and Icy Light. They've been around for so long. Iron City's been around since 1861. Icy Light has been around since 1977. And then we constantly have new innovation. Our blockhouse line has been very, very popular lately. Last summer we introduced Poolside, which was a huge hit, so it came back this summer again and is selling really well in the market right now. And then just last week we launched a blueberry wheat beer, and we had a regatta over this past weekend, and it was the number 2 seller right under Icy Light.
So let's take that a step further. You mentioned the Rockin' Regatta, right?
Yeah.
So talk about, you've got events now that you're hosting here. Talk about that one and what's on tap this summer.
Yeah, we had a few thousand people here for the regatta. There's been a few years of a hiatus with the Three Rivers Regatta downtown at the Point in Pittsburgh, so we decided to take advantage of that and have one up here. We're right along the Allegheny River, so why not use the beautiful water for some activities? So we had that on a Saturday and Sunday this past weekend. And then tomorrow, which is June 14th, we have Alabama and Jamie Johnson coming here. We're expecting 6,000 to 7,000 people here on property for the concert.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, we can definitely fit a lot of people outside. It's a great flat space, green area for concerts. And then July 13th, we have Blues Travelers, Gin Blossoms, and Spin Doctors. So great lineup there for nostalgic tunes for everybody. And then August 8th, we have Joan Jett coming.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was here for that.
Yeah.
I love Joan Jett. For Yinzers like me who grew up with Iron City Beer and Icy Light, and that being our brand of choice, and when we think about Iron City, it's very nostalgic to my generation and younger. Talk about what you're doing to not only capture that nostalgia, but also kind of take what you have and moving it into the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think this facility speaks for itself and kind of gets people intrigued again with the brand if they haven't drank it in a while, or if they're continuing to still drink it for years and years. So people come here, see the facility, they continue to have our beer and say how much they love it, or they try it again, or they try it for the first time. So I feel like this atmosphere and this facility really help us kind of introduce it to new drinkers or a new audience, which is great for us.
One of the things I was so happy to see earlier this spring was my wife and I watched the pit, and all of a sudden now there's brand placement for Iron City within the pit. Talk about getting that kind of exposure and brand placement in a show that's really taken off.
Yeah, no, I mean, we are partners, sponsors with every sports team in the city. I think there's just many synergies between our product and watching sports. Everybody enjoys to have a cold brew while they're watching the Steelers, the Penguins, Pirates pit. So we definitely take advantage of that, and everyone's great partners with us. So
as we talk about some of the expansion in the craft beers that you guys have, one of the things I loved last summer was Poolside, and I got to have some of that and really loved that brand. Talk about Poolside coming back this summer and some of the other things you have planned for, that brand.
Yeah, Poolside has been a huge hit. It's a pineapple lemon shandy, so it's perfect for summer. People love it. People love to experiment with it. Some people kind of mix it with a shot of like lemon vodka, add a little twist to it.
Is that right?
Some people have mixed it with our mango, so people really love it and love to experiment with it for sure. And then we have a 10-barrel brew system that we can actually do smaller batches on, which we can't do with our larger equipment. So that gives us the opportunity to play around with different brews. So we've actually been able to expand beyond our lager portfolio and ales. So we've done Evil Eye, which is an IPA, Red Eye, which is a pale ale, and we've done some of our old brands. We're able to resurrect those, bring them back for a limited time.
Old Frothing Slosh,
yes.
I saw.
Yeah, Old Frothing Slosh. We have one coming up this winter too. That's a good old brand that people are going to be excited about. So that 10-barrel system definitely gives us some good opportunities to bring some stuff back or try new things.
We've also got a wonderful gift shop downstairs so we can get a lot of our Iron City gear.
Yeah.
Talk about what you have available for folks when they come out here.
Yeah, well, obviously we have beer down there, so anyone can come in and get a case, or you can build your own six-pack, get cans to go. We have a little patio that we started outside for this summer that people can have a drink either after their tour, or if they're just coming to shop, they can sit outside if it's a nice day and have a beer. And then we have all kinds of merchandise. Like you name it, we have it. We have pint glasses, we have signage, so we have tin tackers and LED signs, all kinds of merchandise, especially a lot of golf stuff right now, which has been really popular. We have fully custom polos and Hawaiian shirts and swim trunks. So a lot of fun stuff that people really gravitate towards. And we ship everything, so people from all over will get our merchandise.
So with 67,000 coming to see Alabama tomorrow and to see what you have here, as I was reading some of the stuff online at the Trib, they're talking about 40,000 people a day out at Oakmont, 200,000 people descending on the city of Pittsburgh over the course of this week. That's got to be fantastic for you guys to draw in the 67,000 you mentioned, plus others that got to be wondering, what's this great facility? Let me go check it out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely helpful having the open in town, and it's only 5 miles down the road from here. So we're doing some advertising, trying to draw the crowd up here. If they're getting a ticket, that's great. They can go down there, and then they can come up here afterwards to watch or hang out. Or if they didn't get a ticket and they're just in town to kind of see the atmosphere around the Oakmont, the Open, then they can come here as well or join the concert in the evening.
Since this is the second day that you've been gracious enough to host me here, as I look out at the crowd on day 2 that is here, this place is almost packed.
Yeah.
That's great to see.
Yeah, we love to have people here. We have a lot of regulars that come back, and then we do a lot of advertising to draw in new folks as well.
So as you look out into the future, thinking about what this brand could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, what's your vision?
Just expanding upon these events and concerts that we're doing. We really want to be a destination. So not just your neighborhood brewery. We want to be a destination that everyone can come, enjoy themselves, have a weekend here, come to a concert, take a tour, shop in the gift shop, go over to our distillery next door. So
Talk about that. Distillery.
Yeah, so we have a distillery on property. We started laying down barrels March of 23, so it's finally straight whiskey, what we have laying at our warehouse, so a couple of the barrels. So we're really excited to kind of start launching that brand, which is Bessemer Spirits, very soon here. Maybe this fall we'll do some single barrel releases, and then hopefully in the state stores by 27.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for people that want more information, want to learn more about what you have available here, and then follow you guys online and on social media, how can they do it?
Yeah, definitely follow us on social media. We're constantly posting about things we have going on and new product releases. So that's Pittsburgh Brewing Co. On Facebook and Instagram, and our website's pittsburghbrewing.com.
Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come meet me here and for hosting me these last couple of days. It's been fantastic. I love this place.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All the best to you and your family.
Thank you.
That is the wonderful Rachel Gill, folks, marketing director for Pittsburgh Brewing. And how fantastic is she? And how fantastic is this place? This tap room is off the charts great. It's got one of the largest screens, if not the largest screen anywhere in the city. The atmosphere here is fantastic. The bar and the brews that they have on tap and the wait staff that is here as well, off the charts, fantastic. I can't thank her enough for inviting me to come here and allowing me to be a part of this whole thing and take it all in. And like I say, they are taking our grandfather's brand, an iconic one in and around Western Pennsylvania and Iron City Beer, and they are moving it into the future. So many wonderful new craft beers. And again, this concert series and the place that they have set up for that is great as well. I certainly wish I was going to be here for Joan Jett. Man, she is one of my all-time favorites. So check everything out online, pittsburghbrewing.com. I look forward to having Rachel back on the show very soon. Okay, coming up next is a lady that you're really going to enjoy. She is absolutely wonderful, one of Pittsburgh's finest, Rosalie Wisotzski. Before I bring Rosalie into the show, I want to remind you about our wonderful friends over at On Point Golf and their out-of-this-world On Point Golf Ball Marker. And if you don't have one, folks, you really need to go check it out at onpointgolf.us. Get the #1 ball marker in the game of golf. On Point is the only three-dimensional ball marker out there, with alignment technology and a removable coin that is approved to use according to the rules of golf. As you know, putting is all about line and pace. Mark your ball with On Point, engage with your three-dimensional ball marker, and have more confidence in your line, execute the putt, and you're going to lower your scores. Do what the likes of Jim Furyk, PGA professionals, and amateurs alike are doing now. They use the #1 ball marker in golf and they lower their scores. You know Ken Duke and Thongchai JD. They won for the first time on the PGA Tour in 2023, and they were using an On Point ball marker. Get yours at onpointgolf.us and make more putts. And oh, by the way, you can also customize the removable coin for any club, event, or corporate outing. They make really great tee gifts and custom products. That's also going to help lower your score. I use On Point ball markers. Mine is black and gold, 3D black golf ball with a gold line down the middle to help me line up my putts. It's like having a 15th club in my bag. It's helped my game why wouldn't you let it help yours? Again, onpointgolf.us. See what I'm talking about. Order yours today. All right, now I'm privileged to say that I am joined by Rosalie Wisotzski. Rosalie has got an amazing background here in the city of Pittsburgh and in our game, not just locally, but around the world. Rosalie, tell us about you.
Well, I'm a member of the Pittsburgh Field Club, proudly so. I am dedicated to Pittsburgh, love this sport, didn't get into it till later years in life, like after in my 40s. I play with the Pennsylvania Women's Golf Association in their leagues every spring. We have a team, and then we have, we're so blessed with great golf courses here, as you know, Chris. There's Oakmont and Longview and Fox Chapel and Field Club, and so we have our own kind of Ryder Cup with the women every year. And so I've played the single matches, I've played better ball matches, I've played alternate shot matches. So yeah, golf is big here in this part of the valley.
I tell you, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Rosalie, because I don't think the city of Pittsburgh gets enough credit for the amount of great golf courses that we have just right here around the city.
I'm with you. I think if people could take a vacation from work but not go away, they could go up to Butler, they could go down south, they could go out towards Somerset County, and then all the clubs here with their friends. It's as good as it gets.
Okay, so tell us about the Pittsburgh Field Club.
Oh, boy.
Chris Sheehan has been a wonderful friend of this show for many, many years.
Yes.
And we've talked about the beautiful design there of that golf course, some of the legendary stories. We talked about the elevator that's out there on one of the holes. It was constructed because some guys had a heart attack out there and died.
That's right.
Tell us about the Pittsburgh Field Club and what makes it so great.
Well, Pittsburgh Field Club was established in 1882. It once upon a time was a cricket club, not at this location out in Fox Chapel, though. You're correct about the elevator. Allegedly, there's only 2 elevators in the country, one in California and ours. And so it was a health risk, so I hear that's what motivated to have it put in. It's a private club. It's a full family club. I mean, it's swimming and dining and other sports and activities. And the camaraderie there is classic Pittsburgh. You know, we have executives from major corporations and people who are like 3rd and 4th generation there. It's just really special.
So let's go back. Tell us about your history in the game and who was the first person to put a club in your hands.
So I didn't get married until late in life, and my late husband, everyone called him the Wiz, was a phenom in golf. And so he said to me, you know, you really ought to try to learn this. And so I was not athletic in my upbringing. I was raised out in Armstrong County between Indiana and Katanning. And I loved the sport. Dave Martin, who was the pro at the field club for 40 plus years, taught me, and I love the mind part of it. I love the analysis of it. I learned to chip until I could learn to drive, and then I learned to drive, and that matched the chip, and my game evolved, the camaraderie evolved. Now that I'm older, the drive is not so good because I'm losing the power, and so like everyone else, I keep buying new equipment, but our club is spectacular in the quality. When you look at our fairways and the greens, you can see the blue grass and the green grass and the yellow grass and the meticulous mowing on our green surface. Frankly, it's hard to beat.
So you had an opportunity to play at Oakmont.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
So talk about your experience playing there.
So Oakmont is different. Oakmont, of course, has the mystique and the legendary. But once you realize that 4 putts are a reality, you just get in the groove, keep it in play, rely on that caddy, and be proud that you play it.
So let's expand on that, because golf can be a very frustrating game at times.
Sometimes.
So much of our game is managing that frustration, because you got to know, particularly at a place like Oakmont, that you're going to go out there and you're going to have adversity. You're going to struggle. You're going to get it in the rough and have to hack it out. You're going to 3 or 4 putt on some of these greens. Talk about keeping your emotions and your frustration in check when you're out there playing a place like Oakmont.
I think that what you're nicely saying is, do you need a head to play a golf game? And the answer is yes. It is true. Oakmont brings a different mystique, not just in the layout and its beauty, which it has, of course, but when you're in that, when I'm in rough at home versus in rough at Oakmont, I have to take a shorter iron and I just have to take my medicine and get it out 60 yards and put it in play. Whereas a less experienced golfer or a golfer who doesn't think first will still try to use their utility wood or whatever, and it's not going to work. And then you do get frustrated. And then you think, get it on the green. But getting it on the green isn't enough in Oakmont, because once you get it on the green, it's going off the back. And so you really have to pay attention. And for those who can't relax in their head, that course is going to eat them up. I think the sport will eat anybody up.
So you're way more than a recreational player, though, right?
Well, I would call me recreational, but I love it. I'm dedicated. I do play with my teams, the teams in-house, teams regionally. Anytime there is an event, especially an alternate shot event, I love to get up there and just bang it away with the best of them. And so someone will say to me, oh my gosh, you're playing someone who's a 3 and you're a 13, and oh my goodness, put me in match play, I will play right beside you every day. I love it. I absolutely love it.
So what is it about competition that brings out the very best in you?
Here's the thing. I don't think you have to be a perfect golfer. I think you just have to be perfect when it's the right time. And so for me, I wouldn't suggest that I'm so competitive, but I think my colleagues would say I'm competitive. I don't care if I win or lose, but if I'm out there because I have to win for my team, count on me. Just count on me. That's the way it is. And I'm sure that's how all these professionals feel. Yeah. They're not here playing. They're here working to win. And it's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
So you rise to the occasion, which is a wonderful thing to be able to do, to elevate your game at the time when you need it. Talk about the skill to do that.
Well, I don't know where it comes from. The first thing I would say for a golfer who's getting into the sport is if you miss a shot or miss a match or miss a game, it's not going to change who you are unless you let it happen. So I feel very confident about my life. I've not always been confident about my talent on the golf course, but if I ruin a hole, keep going. Because the longer, I learned very early from experienced players, the longer we cling to the putt that we missed, or the longer we cling to the chip that we sculled across, the longer we cling to that, then that is that much longer before we get back in a good mindset to make the game happen. My attitude is be patient, baby. Just be patient. It will show up, and the other player's going to also come up with bad news.
That's fantastic, because we talk an awful lot about the mental side of the game on this show.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Okay.
So much of our game is about keeping your temperament, not losing your focus, and being positive out there. We do a lot of negative self-talk in this game as well. So being able to keep it on the positive side so that one bad shot doesn't turn into 5 bad shots and 5 bad holes is a huge part of being able to play well.
Isn't that the truth? It multiplies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to that end, it seems like you're able to put any of the negativity in the background, not focus on it, and go out and play really well, which is what all the greats of the game have been able to do.
Yeah, I think that I learned it because I played with very experienced golfers in the beginning, and if I, you know how quickly one pouts because they put the ball in the rough or in the sand and they like, oh geez, or whatever. But I've played with experienced golfers who look at me and say, you put it there. Like, the accountability is just ours. Think about all the sports that we have, fabulous athletes. Golf is a one-man game. And so you can't blame it on your teammate who threw the ball or missed a dribble or whatever. It's just about you when you're out there. So
talk about some of your other favorite courses around town that aren't PFC or Oakmont.
The risk of sounding braggadocio, my favorite courses in the world are Muirfield, as in Scotland, and I love Secession down in Hilton Head. I have the privilege of being a member at Sawgrass Country Club in Ponte Vedra Beach, and of course here at the Field Club. So I've played almost all of the regional courses here. I look a little tired today because I just a week ago came back from Scotland, played the big granddaddy, played St. Andrews, the old, and played Carnoustie, and life is pretty good. If you're a golfer, go for it.
Okay, so now you got to tell me about St. Andrews. What was it like for you to go out there and tee it up at the home of golf?
Well, I will tell you, and again, we're here in homage to Oakmont. The caddies there, much like our Oakmont caddies, like they know precisely. Lady, I want you to put this 120 yards left. What do you mean left? No, put it left, because they know the greens. The hospitality at St. Andrews was terrific. I mean, they do want us to keep going. As you can imagine, it's quite a machine there. So they would want us to keep our pace of play going. You need to walk. Playing golf abroad is not for the faint of heart. You know, you must walk. The weather could be bad. I had great weather. I would say St. Andrews, except for the hallowed history, is like the fine golf that we have here. But it's not fine. I mean, it's rough. The rough is tough. You don't look at it and say, isn't this pretty? You look at it and say, wow, how do I get through this hole? Whereas in America, our golf courses are so groomed with the right trees and the right grass and the right manicure. Over there, it's like, just get to the hole. It's different. It is different. Have you played?
Unfortunately, no, I have not.
Oh, it's a totally different trip. So, and the ball rolls a little better there too. Thank you. You know, and they have all the sea views. You know, when you play Muirfield and Kingsbarn and and Carnoustie, you got the water lapping at you. So where we have verdant hills here, which are lovely, over there the challenge is the wind and the elements because they don't have the hills. You know, our hills are a challenge here. Yeah, so it's different. It's pretty. It's great.
You mentioned to me before we went on the air about TPC Sawgrass and going down there and playing 17.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about what it's like for you, or anybody for that matter, to put a peg in the ground on 17 and try to hit it on that green.
Well, so I have played it many times, and for the male players, it's a 127 to 137 shot. And I think most people would say for a pro it's a pitching wedge. For others it's maybe a 9 or whatever. And for the forward tees, no longer say women's tees, the forward tees it's 90 to 100. That's really not a hard target. Of course, every time I've played and you play, we don't have a $50,000 stroke on that hole, right? That's a big deal. So, but the wind is an element, the fans are an element. I will tell you, at TPC, the fans are the most fun. I've had the privilege of going to the Masters. Fans are wonderful there, but at TPC, everybody's your best friend. So playing that hole, I just don't think it's as tough as everyone thinks it is. And that comes back to your mindset, Chris. Right. Oh my God, it's coming. What am I going to do? Am I going to pull it? Am I going to yank it? And everyone's going to see me. Well, just put it on, putt and go.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Some of the things my friends have asked me about, comparing Oakmont and what the course is like, and I've been fortunate enough to go out to Augusta National and be out there every year since '01. When we talk about elevation change, boy, it's hard to top what's going on at Augusta National, but I think this is very similar here. Talk about your assimilation between the two golf courses and the elevation changes.
Wow. That's a tough question because of the familiarity of Oakmont and Western Pennsylvania. Hills are our norm. But the first time I went to Augusta, I was stunned with the elevation. That first hole and coming up 17, coming down on 10 and coming up that hill. So I was repeatedly surprised. Television does not seem to convey that elevation. I've just started, because of catching up on my life because of trip last week, I've just started to see how this is looking on the television here, so I can't really opine. You tell me, do you think the television does or does not communicate like the elevation on 12, when you were going? I mean, what are you sensing?
Yeah. For me, I do believe it's very similar. Maybe it's not quite the difference, and as you know, when you're standing on the tee on 10 and you go all the way down to the tee on 11, the drop there is the height of the Statue of Liberty, so it's pretty severe. But by the same token, when I was down at the green on 10 here at Oakmont, looking back up to the green on 3 as you look all the way across the course, that's a pretty stark elevation change. I think it's very similar, maybe not quite as much, but it's pretty darn close.
Well, and perhaps it is very much as dramatic. What we don't have at Augusta in our mind is the familiarity. When one is familiar, you don't see it as a hill. Yeah. So maybe that's it. So a visitor who has the privilege to come and play Oakmont is going to say, well, where did that 17th hole with that great big mouth come up the hill? I mean, how did that happen, right? So, yeah, I agree. But I think because we know it, that I don't because we know that course, I don't know that I am respecting what television does or doesn't do for it. Although the television is nicely picking up that long second cut fringe. Holy smokes, yeah.
One of the questions a lot of the media are asking, and Justin Thomas jumped in on this as well, is what would a 15 handicap shootout here at Oakmont?
The handicap won't matter. Just be glad you're playing, enjoy the trip.
You kind of have to, right? Because as a guy whose handicap is right around 15, I think they'd have a hard time breaking 200.
If you had to play.
If you followed the rules of golf and teed off from where these guys are playing from, oh my.
Yeah, these par threes are crazy, aren't they?
Really crazy. I tell you, one of the things that I was talking to the guys out there on the course yesterday is I was out on 8, and the tees are way back, and I went back there, and one of the volunteers that was there, I was saying, hey, what's it playing today? He said 303 yards. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I can't even imagine what you would hit on something that far away. I mean, for me, it's a short par 4. But even for these guys, what club are you hitting that you hope to hold the greens from 303 yards away?
Interesting. I remember last year, I played Oakmont last year, haven't been on it this year, but I was there at a competition with the interclubs that I mentioned. And so I was coming in on 8. I was so excited. I hit the green and my opponent hadn't. I was in a better ball format, so I hit the green, my co-player was in the area, and the other 2 were not on. But she could chip. And when she chipped that ball up, so when you say how do you be a regular player and get there, she chipped it up, and I don't recall whether or not she saved her par, but I right away said, oh darn, you think you have an advantage because you're on? It's not over until you walk off that green with that ball in the cup. It really isn't, yeah. So it's a mystique. And how proud for Pittsburgh, and how awesome is this?
Okay, so let's take that a step further.
Okay, go.
They are talking about 40,000 people being out at Oakmont every day, 200,000 people descending upon the city of Pittsburgh to be a part of this great event. As a Pittsburgher, what does that mean to you?
That's probably a Chamber of Commerce question, right? And the restaurants and everything else. For me, I don't really have much of a reaction because I am blessed. I live at Sawgrass in the winter, so the players are there at TPC every year. Yeah. And the fact that they are here, and having Arnold Palmer be our neighbor for so long. Yeah. I mean, this professional golf world has been around us. I'm sure that the economy of this is, it's fabulous. Look at where we're sitting here at the Iron City Distillery, right? I mean, how much fun is this? Right. But so I think it's important. I think it's important for Oakmont. When you're a legacy hall, you want to keep that legacy alive, not just once upon a time we did this. So, but I haven't been stuck in traffic yet. So there will be the naysayers. But let's face it, we're a viable community, and viability is commerce, and this is commerce. But it's fun, and it's gorgeous, and it's prideful. People are over in Ireland. People were asking me in Scotland, "You live near Oakmont? Will you be there? What's going on?" Like they consider our Oakmont what we consider their St. Andrews. Right. So, be proud, Pittsburgh. We got it going here. We really do.
The city really does. I think so many people are really still caught up in this being a steel town and not really understanding how much the city has grown, what we are now a part of. I mean, this is one of the great medical facility areas anywhere in the world. It's a center of education. This city really does have it going on, and I don't think enough people are aware of that or appreciate it, at least outside of this area, of course.
Yeah, we have the sciences here, the robotics, the education, the arts. This is truly like one of the most livable cities going. I mean, I'm here by choice. I love it here. I grew up in the country about not quite an hour away, but this gives small town an opportunity as much as we want. It really does. So, anyway.
You are awesome and such a delight. I can't thank you enough for stopping by.
Yeah, ditto. I'm happy to be able to talk to you.
So happy to have you here.
Thanks much.
For our listeners who are now fascinated by you or intrigued by you, is there a way for them to keep up with you on social media?
I don't know why anyone would want to. I am a retiring attorney. I've been in my own practice since '98. it's my turn to spend my money on me and just hang out and have a blast, and that's what I'm doing. So I don't seek attention with social media at all. I mean, I have a Facebook page so that I know what all my crazy nieces and nephews are doing. But thank you for the kind opportunity to promote myself. I'm just me loving my life. That's really all I am. It's super to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing everything you did. You're fantastic. That is Rosalie Wisotzski, folks. How great was she? How intriguing was she? How great are those stories? Oh my goodness. What a rich history here in Pittsburgh and the courses that she's played and the events she's been a part of, and then going over to St. Andrews and down at TPC Sawgrass. I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation. Hopefully that's not the only time she is a part of the show. Maybe we'll get lucky and have her back on the show again sometime later on this year and next. All right, my friends, it is time for me to put a bow on part one of this week's show. My sincere thanks again to Rachel Gill and Rosalie Wisotzski for joining me and making this part of the show so much fun for me to be a part of. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Remember, come back for part two, because Steve Shingeldecker and Eric Johnson joined me, and they are both funny, fun, and informative about what it's like to be out at Oakmont and what's going on in college golf. So, folks, as always, I can't thank you enough for being the greatest supporters in the history of podcasts. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Until next time, hit 'em straight, my friends.